Hello, yeah. So this is part two on episode five. So today we'll be reviewing my fantasy team. Not review. We'll be previewing my fantasy team for game week three. Yeah, game week three. And yeah, I'm excited because I had a good one last game week, and I saw my team move from top 200k to 13k5. It was really good to see. I love such elevation, the best of elevations, and I hope to see that after this game week three, I can pivot to top 1K, and maybe I might be top five. Who knows? Just stick with your strategy and don't make rash decisions. Those are the things that is good that usually hamper your squad, hamper your progress in getting higher up the ladder. So stick with your strategy. Hopefully, you have the right strategy. So if you want to make decisions and you're not sure, that's why I'm here. I'm here to help. So starting with looking at what my team can do and the team that I've put out for game week three, I'm starting with Pickford, my goalie. Yeah, you don't want to make changes with your goalie. Like I said, I'm sticking with Pickford until something dire happens before I'm going to make any changes. And a great option is David Raya. Arsenal, you expect them to keep clean sheets. Even though they are playing with Liverpool, you don't want to sub him out. You keep him in your team, except your substitute goalie is someone who is most likely going to keep clean sheet due to the opponent that is playing, maybe a lesser opponent. So it could be a good option to replace Raya because you don't think he's going to keep a clean sheet against Liverpool. Liverpool playing at Anfield, you can't really expect that. But for for my team, I've got Pickford. They are going away to Wolves. However, I don't see them keeping a clean sheet. But if they do, it's a bonus for me. That's why goalie are not something you need to start over analyzing. You just pick a goalie and leave them in for a good number of games. So you don't want to be chop and change and then missing out on the points. Like some people might not expect that Pickford is going to keep a clean sheet against Brighton. I never expected that too as well, which I'm part of those people. But I left him in my team anyways, and you can see it got me the most points in the last game week, himself and Joao Pedro. But goalies, as we know, it's not something that you want to be using your free transfers for. It's not. It doesn't look like it's never a right choice to waste your free transfers or waste your funds on goalies because they don't get you so much points unlike the other players, and they are never a choice for captain. They are never a choice for captain, which means that they are not like a key part of your team. They're just like a feeling in your team. So don't dwell too much on your goalies. Just leave them as is. Just go for the right goalie and stick with them all through. So next on the list, I've got Ola Aino, Nottingham Forest playing West Ham. It is expected that they are going to keep a clean sheet. If they don't keep a clean sheet, that usually can happen, but it's not something that I expect anyways. I expect Nottingham Forest to keep their first clean sheet against West Ham because West Ham are not a good team right now. They're in a big mess at the moment. And next one, we've got Cucurella. They're playing Fulham. Like I always say, I don't expect us to keep a clean sheet against Fulham. Chelsea might just, like I predicted, I think it's going to be a 3-1 win for us. But Cucurella is a defender you don't want to be replacing on your team. You don't want to put on the bench because he gets into attacking positions, so he can get you some points. So I've left him in my team. I'm not making any changes. So next one on my team, Munoz. Munoz is playing Villa. I don't expect Crystal Palace to keep a clean sheet against Villa at home, against when they play Villa at home. But that could be the case when they play because because Villa are struggling right now. They haven't got the depth that they require. So I think something I see, I see, I don't see a clean sheet. So I just have Munoz on my team. If he get me a point, no problem. It's fine. You might have so many other options. I think people, if you've got Newcastle players, I think they are going to be a good choice for people that want to that have free transfer that they or they are maybe you're playing white card, you're playing free hits. Newcastle defenders are the right people to go for this game week because they're playing against Leeds and they are most likely not going to concede against Leeds. But you don't know what might happen. Leeds are playing at home; they can get goals, and Newcastle might just open up during some part of the match and allow Leeds get a goal. But you expect their wing back to always bump forward and they get you attacking points, which would give them put them in a good place for your team. So that's that. Palmer is injured. Palmer injured. I'm most likely taking him out from my team. I've got some options in. Someone mentioned Morgan Gibbs White. He's never a player that I looked out, but I think he's definitely a good option. I've got Elanga, Ismail Assar for Crystal Palace, and I had Cunha earlier this week until after the Manchester United play Grimsby. I had to put him out of my thoughts. I don't want to bring in Cunha for that fee into my team. Manchester United are not stable right now, so I don't expect it to be a great game against Burnley. Even though he scores, it's not a problem. It's just one goal, and they are going to have tougher fixtures in the next one. So it's not a good option for me. So I'm sticking with Elanga of Newcastle. I would have stopped with Sa, but I feel Elanga is a more potent option for me. So and Newcastle have got good games coming in, and however, I might take him out again when Palmer is back fit. So, but Elanga is staying in my team. I'm bringing him for Palmer for sure. And in Jai, I was supposed to take him out, but Palmer being injured and being ruled out after Maresca made the announcement earlier today as made is a game changer. But in Jai, to be fair, he's playing against Wolves, but I don't want a situation whereby he's going to play 60 minutes or 65 minutes and just get an assist and he's not being allowed to get a goal and he just gave me 6 points against Wolves because Wolves might be prove to be a tough team when they play. So I'll just leave him in my team as it is. There are a whole lot of options that you can go for. Eze, I'm not going to pounce on him now. I want to see how he's going to play for Arsenal. Arsenal have got tougher fixtures, so it's not I don't think it's a smart option to bring in Eze into your team for now. We'll watch him and see what he can do in the next games. So next on my list, Mo Salah. Like I said, Mo Salah is a player that is on my team, nailed on, never going to change. So next on the list is Tijani Reinders. Tijani Reinders is going to be a good one to watch. I want to see what he can do against Brighton. However, is a cheap option, so I expect him to get a goal contribution this game week. But if that doesn't happen, I'm going to be pained because I can see that there are a whole lot of options, especially if you're looking at the Tottenham Hotspur team. They've got a couple of great midfielders that you can look to bring into your team, as well as Chelsea too. Not just Cole Palmer. There's Pedro Neto, who is looking to be a very dangerous player up front for Chelsea, and yeah, Pedro Neto. So next on the list, I've got Kudus. Kudus, I expect a goal from Kudus against Bournemouth. Kudus. Most people are bringing in Semenyo into their team. Semenyo is not a kind of player that you can rely on for goal contributions. He's going to have a good game. He's going to have a solid game. He can give you a 10 over 10 performance, but that would not reflect in his goal contribution. And that's what fantasy football is about. It's not what they did on the pitch, it's what they contribute from a goal perspective, whether assist or goal. But now that there's defensive contribution, Semenyo is not someone that you can be looking up to for that too as well. So I don't see him as the right option for you to bring in your team, especially for the fee that he commands. So Semenyo, I'm sticking with Kudus, player of Kudus's profile and his value, his valuation. So next on the list is Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro, nailed on starter. Joao Pedro, Salah, nailed on starter. Ekitike, I was supposed to boot him out of my team, but due to the changes now, I see that Liverpool might have a good run after Arsenal. So, and he scored in the last game against Newcastle, and it was a great finish. So that has altered my thought process about what I visualize in the coming game weeks. But he's still a player that I might change because I see he's commanding that 8.5 million is a good fee for the goal contribution that he's making. So I'll stick with him for now. But let's say in the next couple of game weeks, if he continues in this stead, he might likely be nailed on my team, Ekitike. So next one, I'm going to bring in Woods for GU. I think I've got enough funds to bring Chris Woods for GU. Chris Wood, I see Nottingham Forest scoring a whole lot of goals against West Ham, so I don't want to miss out on that. I had Chris Woods or Mateta. Those were the two players I was looking at because I believe Mateta might get one on Aston Villa. Crystal Palace always know how to smash Aston Villa, and that might be the case. So I'm bringing Chris Wood for Juyu. Next one is Jet Spence. Jet Spence, Tottenham, Bournemouth. Is on my bench, but I'm looking to bring him on maybe for Munoz because but Bournemouth, I see that I do think they will score, but with the statement that Jet Spence has made, like you should bring your wingers, it shows a certain level of confidence in himself. He can do things, and he might do great things against Bournemouth. Who knows? So I may likely bring him on for my team. And the other player I've got is Tete. Tete is playing against Chelsea. I'll leave him on my team as that. And Petrovic is the goalie. He's playing Spurs. Obviously, I said I'm going to stick with Pickford. So that's my team for this game week. And I think there are other. Right now, we can't really decide on our the defenders that we'll look to bring into our team because there's not many teams that can actually give you a clean sheet and have fullbacks that are going to be attacking apart from Arsenal because Timber had a good contribution in the last game week and is one to talk about because Timber 24 points, that's a whole lot of points for a defender getting 2 goals and an assist. Although I think 2 goals and an assist he got, and that's 24. That's massive for anybody who had him in the last game week. So Arsenal is the team to look out for. So I think Timber is nailed on. Saliba and Gabriel are nailed on. Then the left back, not too sure. Maybe it might be chopping and change between Calafiori and Lewis Kelly. But so far, so good. He's been Calafiori and he's been producing the points. So Arsenal, from a defensive perspective, they are the go-to team right now. But in the run of games that we have now from game week 3 are looking to be tough games for Arsenal. So I don't have any Arsenal player in my team, so I'll stay with the team I've got now. But for those that have him, I think he's a good option. Their players are a good option for you, so you can stick with that. And any suggestion that you want me to make for you in terms of how you can make your team better, you can ask me in the comments. I'll try to be as available as I can and then respond to you as soon as possible just to make your team better. And then, we are going to be pivoting to TikTok soon, like I mentioned in the last game. And before this game week, we're supposed to have a session with 2 special guests, like I mentioned, but due to logistic reason, it couldn't happen, and then it changed. So we are most likely going to be having that session next week after the review of this game week. We'll be having 2 special guests on the pod. I hope this time we don't have any issue that has to do with logistics. So stay on with me. Stay tuned, guys. Thank you for staying with me for this long 13 plus minutes to preview this game week my fantasy team for this game week. I guess I'll leave it at that for this game week, and I see you all on the next one. Stay with me and let's keep going. See you all. Bye for now.